And if you're thinking along those lines, you can miss out on a genuine freebie that was just presented to him.
You get some batters who just generally are waiting for just that, and they don't let you pass. That disappears out the ground first up, and then you're under some pressure.
Now this is interesting. No fielders in front of square on the leg side. Kusal Mendes will work that pretty easily. There's a mid-on back and a mid-wicket back, but it's different for Salt. It's mid-off back and mid-wicket back, and mid-on comes up. So whether Salt looks to go over mid-on or not, I don't know. Beyond Fortuyn not been so effective, unsurprisingly, away from Boland Park, where on that slower pitch he tied people in knots and took a lot of wickets in doing so. Oh, how unlucky is that? So unlucky for the bowler. Cruel almost.
Yeah, bonus boundary to start for the Pretoria Capitals. We've seen so much of this from Bjorn Fontaine. He just gets that new ball to slide on, and it's bowled at 99 kilometers per hour. So there's no lack of pace, but they're just unable to get across to it.
I honestly think for once, and he doesn't do it, but I think Joss Butler just didn't think he'd miss it. You know, it didn't seem a missable ball. Didn't do anything. Oh, that's very tight. Well, I wonder actually if the fielder went for the right end.
It's David Miller, so if you take him on, you sometimes do it at your peril. And I agree with you. The shortest throw to the bowler's end would have probably been the right idea. Maria Erasmus, he was on the golf course this morning. He's looking fresh as a daisy now, maybe an afternoon nap before he came.
How do you know that?
We drove past him.
Ah, was he playing slowly?
No.
There's a good shot. Easy swing of the bat. This Kusal Mendes is pretty good at manoeuvring spaces. He's got nice delay with his hands, so he can set up to go straightish, and then at the last minute, depending on the length of the ball, he can open up the hands of the blade just like that.
Yeah, I suppose this is the challenge when you decide on this option when Bjorn Fontaine is Kusal Mendes and the experience he has at facing spinners at the top of the order. It's not a new experience for him, and he shows why.
Yep, 4 more. I wonder if David Miller will pursue that idea. He might get Bjorn Fortuyn out of the attack here because the ball's not holding in the surface at all. 15 for no wicket.
इनकी अब ये लाइफ है, कंट्रोल करता पाइल्स है, सोसाइटी के चेयरमैन यू जो चेयर से डरे बोलो क्यों
करवाऊं मैं जो सर्जरी तो लॉन्ग होगी रिकवरी, लाइफ को होल्ड पे रखना नहीं होगा मुझसे डॉक्टर जी।
तो प्रेस्टीन केयर पे आना। प्रेस्टीन केयर के एडवांस लेजर ट्रीटमेंट्स दें मिनिमम कट और बेटर रिकवरी। जब पाइल सर्जरी हो करवाना, प्रेस्टीन केयर पे आना।
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation. So I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne. So now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
And he slapped it over the head of the square leg fielder.
Yeah, square leg fielder, just watching him out the window here, needs to be placed right on the boundary. He comes in a little bit here, and really he should be on the boundary and just jumping from there. Wouldn't have got it anyway, but I think that should be the warning. It's Evan Jones, I think, who's there. Just stay on the fence and jump up and in if you have to.
At least he got a tall guy there, Pom. He is a tall guy.
Yeah, Cody Yusuf, I saw him in the first game and he got some nice swing away from the right-handers. He bowled a pretty good length, but he hasn't quite found it as yet. And you learn your lesson pretty quickly here, hovering around 135 kilometers per hour. Not much height to him, so he won't get extraordinary bounce out of the pitch.
No, he got a bowl very straight. That boundary, 55 meters, this pitch, not a blade of grass on it, it looks flat. I can only see a high-scoring game here. Well, Lungi, no, not quite. He just didn't get the skates on early enough. He was on his heels because he thought it was coming his way behind square. Nothing he could do in the end.
Now that one does a little bit for Mendes, the extra bounce. See how he tries to roll the wrist, but all he can do is pop it in the air. In that stage, he's thinking, oh, I could be gone. But it lands comfortably between the two of them. There is that surface mark. It does look like a belter. It looks like it's going to come on nicely. As that ball gets older, I think some damage could be done.
Oh, well played. It's just not straight enough. This is a very difficult over for Cody Yusuf. We've seen him come back from difficult overs before. He's got 2 balls left to do something dramatic. Pick up a wicket would be the trick, but that's a bit of a gimme.
Yeah, I'm a little bit just surprised about his approach. I mean, I would be thinking just a foot outside off stump would be the lines that he should be attacking, because that's the bigger boundary. He does get the ball to shape. He had a slip in place. The line in his ball, these first 4 deliveries, has been all down the leg side, and it's the shorter boundary. So he's flirting with danger.
You almost get a sense that he's stuck in the middle. And in the middle, I'm talking about whether he should be up and trying to swing it, or he should just be straight, or if it should be back of a length. And he's doing none of those at the moment. He's running up and he's not quite got his length, and he's also sliding onto the leg side. And as you point out, it doesn't help because there's a short boundary. If you're erring, you probably would rather err on the side where you might have a chance of someone to run and stop it.
No.
2 gone, 28 for no wicket.
You don't want me to sing? What about dancing? You just want me to say the lines. Download Cred now to pay all your bills, credit card, electricity, to win big rewards. I thought this was a Cred ad.
Bonjour, mon amour, t'es bizarre sous la pluie. En ce jour, on s'est étreint à notre tour, oh mon amour.
Move around, he created problems, he beat the outside edge. So he is a guy who can blast people out at the top of the order.
Yeah, his development has been great as we've watched him since he turned up. And when he turned up, he probably just had up at the front, he'd get some wickets, and he got them, a lot of them. And a couple of wickets in the power play is kind of what he'd do. Then, over time, developed the slower ball. And it took some time to perfect it. Now it's magnificent. And started off with sort of going over and sort of off-spin fashion.
Oh, hurry! And again, I think, I just wonder if David Miller twice, when you captain a side, you're so, in 2020 cricket, there's so much to think about. Sometimes if you're on the saving one position, if you're a fraction late to react, you're too late. And it's because your mind's in another space.
Yeah, watch Lungi and Giddy. He's got his hand out as if to say, bowler's end. Why didn't you throw it at the bowler's end?
There you go.
Confusion is.
Oh, that's going to go a long way. About 10 rows back. Simple as that.
Yeah, it landed right next to Casper the Ghost. He couldn't take it over the right hand either. But this is a good start by Salt. 21 off 10, and this is nicely played. Not trying to roll the wrist, not trying to hit in front of square, just trying to help it on its way, use the pace. And on this ground, if you do get it up and going, it's not coming back.
Well, it's been a very poor start with the ball by the PRL Royals here, and a very aggressive start from the Pretoria Capitals batsmen, who seem determined to recover their form from the first 2/3 of the tournament. He's thrashing the ball away, this Phil Salt, because if the ball's on a length, he's in command of it. It's almost the easiest ball on this surface for him to score off.
Yeah, beautiful batting. And they'll be very happy to see him back to some form. This is what he did at the beginning of the tournament in partnership with Will Jacks. He can play through the line on this pitch here in the high felt, just like the shot before. He can just go up and over. In a game where you're needing to not lose by more than 64, it's critical to bowl well up at the front so they don't have the platform.
It's a bit late for that, Pom. We're 41 and there's still a ball to be bowled in the third over.
So we're going to work on the fact that once they get to 64, the innings starts.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then the PRL Royals play from there.
Yeah, big pressure already. Because as you look at this, it looks like another one of those with this lineup that they have, and they can unleash their players in De Bruyne, Rousseau, Ingram and Neesham. They can just come and swing at it.
Was it 2 nights ago? Victory of 151 runs, having posted 250.
Yeah. Paul Stoney's just come up from third man, by the way, so 5 in the covers, saving the single, 2 back leg side, mid on square leg. 3 gone, 42 for no wicket.
With Apollo Tires, have a wonderful day.
Far. It's where you dream a silly dream. Or a big one. A dream you're yet to dream. Go places. Go far.
ये है रैपिडो वाला कॉन्फिडेंस। रैपिडो का बाद लो प्राइस, कंफर्टेबल और क्विक। पहली राइड पर 50% ऑफ। अब टाइम से पहुंचो। रैपिडो, बाइक वाली टैक्सी। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Start a balcony chorus. Why not? Tubog Zero packaged drinking water.
Yeah, the old Natal boys. Okay, Evan Jones, who briefly was leading wicket taker when he got to 9. I think he was leading wicket taker in the tournament. In he comes, fast medium, big tall guy, and he's been eased through extra cover. That is as elegant as Phil Salt will look.
Yeah, this is disappointing for a captain. You know, you obviously get your bowler and they need to try and be on the point when they first get to the crease and back of a length or giving yourself a chance, but this is just a genuine half volley, and a man who's got himself to 26 off 12 is not going to miss out on that. He gets to now 30 off 13.
Yeah, they're making a change. Cover's going to go back and Finlay's going to come up. It's almost as if PRL Royals are a little nervous, a little tentative. Just 1 or 2 things in the field, one or two, the bowling, people not quite getting through their actions. Oh my goodness me. Now there's boundaries galore here. We're flying with 6s and 4s like you can't believe, and we're only in the 4th over.
And once again, Mark, only 5 bowlers. You haven't got an option of who else to go to. You've got to complete your 4-over spell, unless they do use Sterling. But that's it's nicely played. It was interesting. Ndile Petlakwai was charging in. Oh, he set himself nicely with his left hand. I think he's got a beverage in his right hand, and that's maybe why. Something else in his one hand.
I wonder, in trying to think about the psyche of teams and of individuals within teams as they go into a situation that doesn't really require them to win, whether that kind of gives them an out. And even though they won't go that direction because subconsciously it's not necessary to win, they might not be on it. It just looks that way to me with this PRL Royal side.
Yeah, we got experience of that. Tough call.
Polly, if you're the bowler, is that a fair wide?
I knew it was close. I didn't pay that much attention, but if we see the replay, I'm always a person who gauges it on the red line. The line belongs to the ump, I think.
It was marginally more wide than I thought.
I've got the sympathy that they're 54 without loss.
Can someone catch this? No. This is amazing, actually. It's going Pretoria Capital's way, primarily, I think, because they're making their own luck. That so often happens in sport. And at the moment, at least, PRL Royals aren't.
Yeah, need a bit more desperation. There was some here as they chased this in the hope that somebody could get to it. Look at 3 of them going at it, and none of them could get to it.
Oh, well, he didn't time that either. But it is, you know, this boundary, it sets your mind free. You know that you can mishit it for 4 or 6. And that gives you a freedom in your stroke play that you don't otherwise have. And we're seeing that. Badly mistimed balls resulting in runs and often boundaries. Oh, that's 6. Well, this is incredible. This is one of the most dynamic starts to an innings that I've ever seen. 4 overs, and we have 66 on the board.
So that advantage of 60.
टफी के बाल इतने सॉफ्ट हो गए इसको धुलाई करके।
बस एक हाथ दिखाएंगे और देंगे रॉक स्टार वाली अकड़। इसलिए सीएट सिक्योर ड्राइव जो दे हर स्पीड पे पकड़। सीएट, इट हेल्प्स।
आज से मैं अपना गेम चेंज कर रहा हूँ। अरे क्रिकेट नहीं, मेरा नया मोबाइल गेम विंजो। गेम्स तमाम, जीतो करोड़ों इनाम। विंजो, अब गेम बदल दो। डाउनलोड फ्रॉम winzogames.com। इस खेल में वित्तीय जोखिम है या आदत लग सकती है, जिम्मेदारी से खेलें।
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
ये है रैपिडो वाला कॉन्फिडेंस। रैपिडो का बाद लो प्राइस, कंफर्टेबल और क्विक। पहली राइड पर 50% ऑफ। अब टाइम से पहुंचो। रैपिडो, बाइक वाली टैक्सी। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Then all of a sudden, or if they end up 64 short when they chase, then all of a sudden it's the Durban Supergiants who will be into the knockout stages. So they don't have to win the game, PRL Royals, and that's the advantage of chasing, is that they've got 2 totals. They can either try and win the game and chase down what's set for them, or else they can get and make sure they get within 64 runs of what the total is, and then they'll still qualify.
Yeah, it's an approximation and was done yesterday. Mazar Stato doing all of that.
Beyond 14 then, back into the attack.
At current rate, they'll get 317. So good luck. Yeah, that's on the stumps. It's foolish. Need to be on it just like that. Right, can't give the stumps away, because if you do, then you disappear over the fence.
Well, a few tidy balls, and the rate means that now they would only get 298.
Yeah, just talking about scenarios and how much they have to get, etc., etc. We had in the World Cup 2007, I can remember the game clearly. India scored 153. We didn't have to beat them. We just had to get to 126. And if we got there, we would have qualified to go to the semi-finals. We scored 116 and missed out. So sometimes if you set yourselves on the smaller total, it can get you in trouble.
Durban, I think that was.
Yes.
there was rain.
Excellent, Björn.
Yeah, well, they're going along at 14 and over now. It's been a good over this by Bjorn Fortuyn, a crafty over, a thoughtful over, and it was much needed because everything else had been so random and haphazard, really, from PRL Royals up to that point. There was no consistent theme to the bowling.
Down.
But this is a super over, actually. To go for 3 against these two players already in and set is terrific. 5 gone, 69 for no wicket.
Changing plan. Meet me at the cafe.
Let me guess. You want me to be dressed up like an 80s hero and recreate old Bollywood song? Not Bollywood. 80s Kannada song. Santoshake Talakke Kunidu. Just say the line. Download Cred and never miss a single due date. This is a Cred ad, right?
Very important man tonight for PRL Royals because he can do that. Perfect delivery, really, given the way that they're playing. So he gets it full outside off stump with pace off and completely beats the batsman who's premeditated that shot.
Yeah, it's a great slow ball that he possesses. Here's the pitch map so far from the PRL Royal seamers, and you can see it's a bit of a scattergun approach and invariably too short. Even the length deliveries have been helped on their way. So they haven't quite settled into the ideal length on this pitch as yet.
That's out. Well, that's crucial. Well bowled, Lungi. I said he was a key man, and he is a key man. He only got 4 overs to bowl. This is his second of them, but he's got rid of Phil Salt.
In your selection out of an auction of Lungi Ngidi, this is what you're buying. Wickets in the power play. Generally, he'll give you those. This is an important one here because Phil Salt was going like a train. That slower ball, that very good slower ball that Lungi Ngidi has. Well, it gives them some respite, gives them an opportunity here to come back into the game. What a knock, though, from Phil Salt. 39 from 21. He's given them a start. 69 for 1.
Glide like the wind. Grip those slopes. Designed for control, tested for sports. 0-degree steel-belted radials. Engineered for speeds up to 270 kilometers per hour. The widest range of two-wheeler radial tires. Eurogrip tires by TVS.
Cooling sensation.
Big time, because of the point made before that there's nobody else to bowl your overs. So even if you've gone for a few before, you've got to come back and make sure that you finish all your overs and you get better and better as you go along. Try to forget if it's gone badly and take it as it comes.
We're pleased to be here too.
No.
Well, this is a heroic over coming on the back of the over before by Bjorn Fortuyn that only went for 3. If Lungi Ngidi can finish this off with just a single, so far he has a wicket and a single run from it.
Or a wicket.
Oh, it's just really, really fine over. And 6 have gone. It's the end of the power play, 71 for 1.
ये क्या अभी भी बिजली खाने वाले और आवाज करने वाले पंखे? टेक्नोलॉजी बदल गई है। कूल फैंस लाओ जो दे आधी बिजली में ज्यादा हवा और करे कम आवाज।
5-star BLDC कूल फैंस बिजली बचाते हैं और वाईफाई से भी चलते हैं।
तो आप अपने पंखे कब बदल रहे हैं?
Made for mountains, made for rain. Tame every turn, rule every terrain. 0-degree steel-belted radials, engineered for speeds up to 270 kilometers per hour. The widest range of two-wheeler radial tires. Eurogrip tires by TVS.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
Now 2 more can be outside the inner ring. It's 71 for 1. There's going to be more from beyond Fontaine. We're going to go down to the couch.
Yeah, thanks guys from upstairs. It's been absolute entertainment down here. It has been raining sixes, and Ash, we've had front seat to this absolute assault.
Wow, that's all I can say is wow. The start from the Pretoria Capitals. The pitch, we were a little bit concerned whether it might have the pace in it. Well, it's got the pace in it, and it's allowing for some superb ball striking. And Sultan Mendes has been on fire.
And it was Ngidi's last over of the power play where he picks up Salt, just gives 2 wickets. So some sort of sanity is now prevailing in the middle for PRL Royals to try and pull this back.
Yeah, Ngidi is fantastic in the power play. Always picks up wickets with a new ball, whether he opens the bowling or is used as a change bowler. And Bjorn Fortuin, it was Bjorn Fortuin that basically led the fight back with that fantastic over, his previous one. Just going for 3, so they're pulling things back at the moment. Brilliant, Bjorn! He's been outstanding for PRL Royals, predominantly at their home ground in Power, where the pitch is slower. So a different challenge for him. Here's another look at Lungi Ngidi's wicket. Full Salt, well, he was on the assault. But a big, big blow for PRL Royals to get rid of him.
That's not an easy surface to bowl on, especially if you're a slower bowler. Even the faster bowlers have missed their lengths and they've been dispatched. He sweeps and it's away from the fielder. Once again, another boundary. And Kusal Mendes, well, he's going to continue the assault now.
Yeah, fantastic sweep shot from Kusal Mendes. Talking about the pitch, there's very, very little margin for error, Uruj, on this surface. You feel that bowler's got to land it on a sixpence, it's so good. And if it doesn't land on that sixpence, well, boundaries on offer all around.
Cuts and straight to Paul Sterling. It's a good end after being hit for a boundary. 7 done, 78 for 1.
It's Bjorn Fortuyn who led that, and obviously Ngidi, and it was a slower ball from Ngidi, and Andile Petlakwao into the attack now, started with a slower ball, so I'd guess they'll be looking to take a lot of pace off. And just in terms of the lines, he starts with a big wide, but you can almost understand why, because you don't want to be anywhere near this boundary. You want to keep it outside off as much as possible, make them hit to that scoreboard, the big boundary. I think it's a difference of at least 10 meters hitting towards the scoreboard, end of the ground. And there's an indication just on the big scoreboard at the moment, what you're talking about, what you're referring to, the drop in run rate. Last 5 overs, 8.7.
That's a lovely shot, and he will try and look for two. They're running hard. Eventually an easy couple of runs in the end. And again, we talk about the period of the game after the power play when things naturally ought to just quiet down with the field restrictions coming off, and it's that period where you talk about running hard between the wickets.
Yeah, and it was a good piece of running, but also you feel that the timing of the full salt dismissal just before the end of the power play, last over the power play, that would have a big impact. Because he stays out there with Kusal Mendes and they'll just continue in their merry way. But because of the timing of the wicket and the field placings relaxing a touch, yeah, Power Royal's doing a great job in terms of turning things around, or slowing things down, we should say.
Yeah, the Manhattans have surely just been stepped on. The wicket, Ngidi is over, and after the power play, it's just been pulled back a little bit, the scoring rate from Pretoria. Another slow one, change of pace.
Sean Pollock was talking about the Manhattans being in the inner city at the start. We're moving more to the countryside at the moment when we're looking at the Manhattans. Yeah, another slower ball from Ngidi and hugging that wide line, staying, I beg your pardon, from Petlakwao, staying just inside that wide line to make sure that they can't get it away over this 55-meter boundary.
Yeah, this is really good. It's a good over. He took the pace off, came back well after the wide. It's 8 done. It's 85 for 1.
Cooling sensation that excites.
Yusuf straying onto leg stump, clipped nicely by Tiernus de Bruin, who's been steady but unspectacular so far.
He's bowling with 4 fielders on the fence on the leg side, long on, deep mid wicket, backward square and fine, all on the boundary. He's bowling to his field so far. Mid-off is up in the ring for him. So you'd imagine if there's anything in the arc or pitched up, that is going to travel.
Yeah, a couple of twos conceded to the leg side. As you indicated, all the boundary fielders scattered on the leg side, that big boundary. Saying to Tienes de Bruin, who's not hit the boundary yet, he's 10 of 10. Go on then. 65 meters, I got my posters out there. What have you got?
It's short. It's straight to that man who's positioned there perfectly. You just feel the boundaries have just dried up. Ever since Salt wicket was taken, apart from one boundary, it's been a good fight back here from Pretoria.
Yeah.
Pardon, PRL Royals.
PRL Royals, yeah. They were under the pump. They were absolutely under the pump in that power play. Salt outstanding. Kusal Mendes, he continues. He's 33 of 19. But Tienes de Bruin has not quite found his rhythm. He's only 11 of 11.
You just feel with that, just trying to give himself room. Another single. Well, the ground has a reputation of the ball flying, and it certainly did. The crowd was thoroughly entertained. And it was raining 4s and 6s at one point. Current run rate 10.5. Projected scores, if they keep going at which they are, they'll get to 210. A swing and a miss.
Pace off again to 6 of the over, so he's come back. He's been under pressure as Cody Yusuf. Really, the margin for in that first over, you felt that. I mean, our boys upstairs, the commentators upstairs, it looked like anything could go to the boundary, and if the mood and everything is, the tempo, everything is changed around. It's a fantastic fight back from PRL Royals.
You'd probably have to re-bowl that. Just straying too far towards the leg side, and then that's also one thing they'll want to keep a wrap on, not give too many extra deliveries. It was looking like a good over, one dot, and could have finished off with another one.
Yeah, but he's intent on hugging that leg stump line, isn't he? He doesn't want to be outside off. It's only 55 meters. Everyone's up on the offside. He's intent on hugging that thigh pad line. Still just the 7 of the over. Cody Yusuf, if he can manage to only concede a single, it's another good over in terms of this period of the fight back.
Something just caught into his eye as he's run up. Bugs flying around. Ash, what is it?
In South Africa, we call them muggies.
Muggies. Again. That should be another single. So good end to the over from Yusuf. 9 done. It's 93 for 1. The elephant is out, and that means we will be heading to a fan craze strategy. Probably want to keep continuing on to what they did in the first part of the power play. Oh, what a catch! Owen Morgan, you absolute superstar!
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic diving catch from Owen Morgan. And Dile Petraquayo, he continues on that line outside of stump, asking De Bruyne to make a play through the offside towards the bigger boundary. He gets a thick outside edge. And Owen Morgan, well, I think, Uruj, I think he enjoyed that. The laughs, the smiles. Take a bow.
Oh, what a catch. What an absolute lovely catch. One hand dives to his right and holds on. And Petraquayo, well, he's elated. I'm sure PRL Royals will be very happy because they pick up the second wicket. So the skipper, Tinus De Bruyne, goes for 12. It's 93 for 2.